Hi guys, and welcome back. This is Reborn Texas Mom Live. So what we are going to do is, I've had a lot of requests for to show how we do our pocket passies. Or the pockets on our passies. I call them pocket passies. So we are going to demonstrate how we make these for our passies, because we all know that buying individual magnets can get very expensive when we have a large collection and lots of babies. That not all babies, have the same magnet, goes the same way, so it can get very costly. So what we are going to do today is we are going to show you how you can save money on magnets and use what you have with the pocket passies. Alright, so I'm going to show you what you're going to need. It's very simple. Most of the stuff you should have laying around the house, or you can get very, very cheap. Because I rather save my money than buying magnets. I could use on other stuff, like more pacifiers or clothes or, anything else but having to spend money on these guys. So this is the type of magnet that I use. I like it because it is very thin and very small, and it works for all babies and all sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what you're going to need to make these pocket passies with. The first items that you're going to need is a pair of scissors, a box cutter or knife, a pen, and yes, if you don't have a box cutter, anything that has a sharp edge, you can always use the scissors too. Some kind of writing utensil like a pen, marker, Sharpie, crayon, marker, anything that can write. You're going to need one of those. You're also going to need a Q-tip or a couple of Q-tips. And if you don't have them, you can go down to the Dollar Tree and buy a whole box of them for $1. Now, the other thing that I use, it's not recommended, but I do use it because it does come in handy and it is very helpful to me. But I use these little filing nail boards that you use for your nails, and these are actually the baby ones. And I will show you what I use those for, but they do come in handy. As you can see, I've made one here, and I just use this when it's drying to kind of wiggle the glue out into where it needs to go, and I keep that in there so it keeps it open while it's drying, and then I can put the passy in there. And I'll also show you what else I use that for, because it does come in handy so you're not constantly touching the glue. Because we know once you touch the glue, it can get everywhere and turns out quite messy. The other thing that you're going to need is glue. I use E6000 glue. Now, I love this glue. It comes in handy. It's not messy. It doesn't stink. And if you get it on your hands or clothes, it comes off very easily. Now, with super glue or any of the other glues out there, if you touch it, you get that glue on your hands, it's very hard to get off and your fingers can get stuck. So I do recommend E6000. It's going to cost you anywhere from $1.99 to $3.99 depending on the size of tube that you get. I got mine at Hobby Lobby, but you can pick it up Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, anywhere that sells building material or any of that. So we use E6000 glue, highly recommended for all your gluing necessities. Is E6000 glue. Okay, you're also going to need an old piece of fabric, and we use an old stained up, torn up blanket, but you can use an old shirt that has holes or tears, an old pair of pants, an old towel, wash rag, any kind of cloth material. Instead of throwing it out, you can recycle it and use it. That way you're getting double use out of that one item that comes in handy. So And then the other most important thing that you've got to have to make the pocket passies is a pacifier. It doesn't have to be any kind of certain brand of pacifier. It can be any pacifier that you have at the house. Now, I have several of these that already have the nipples cut off, and then I have several that have the nipples on there. And where your box cutter or knife or scissors comes in handy is when you need to cut it, you just, I like the box cutter because I can easily slice it in there, there, and there. It takes about 4 cuts, and then you can pull it off. And then you're ended up with the pacifier with no nipple, which is what you're going to need. So I've got us a pacifier. RJ wants me to go ahead and modify this one that came with his twins, which is gray with the hot air balloons. Okay guys, so I'm back. So RJ wants me to modify this one. I've already cut the nipple off. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put all my tools that I'm going to need up here. And you're also going to need some kind of hard, flat surface. I'm in the nursery and at the moment don't have a hard, flat surface to use. So I just grab a notebook to use to do this process in until I can get some kind of table or something in here to do this. So, and I'm sorry if this is weird. I've never done an instruction video like this before, but I've had a lot of people ask me about them. Okay, so we've got all of our supplies and we're ready to go. So where your pin or your writing utensil comes in handy is with your fabric. Now, if you have a ruler, you can get a ruler. I don't have a ruler, but when I do mine, I just pick an edge or a corner. And as you can see with this blanket, I have quite the amount of space that I can choose and pick from and determine on which side I want to cut up. And I'm always into recycling and reusing if possible. So what you're going to do is I'm going to bend you down so hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. Is you're just going to take your pin and kind of make a sketch of like a long square. And you can make that dark or light. And this is just a rough scratch to show you guys. So now you guys can see that I've made this little squared patch. Okay, what you do after you've made that is you cut that piece out. Okay, so now we've got our piece that we have cut out. We got that right here, and it's got, kind of looks like this. And you're going to take it and you're going to fold it up nice and neat. And you're going to get this. Please excuse my nails. I've been working around the house all day. So you're going to get it like this. And then what you can do is you could take your pacifier, because you don't want it showing through your holes right here. So you're going to want to take it and put it on there just as to get an idea. And then you're going to want to look through the other end to make sure that it fits and you can't see the cloth. So you can't see it and it's still on there. Okay, what we're going to do next is we are going to grab our E6000 glue and our pacifier. And I'm going to try to make my legs stable for a table here. And we got our board, we got our Q-tip. And I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. Okay, and I'm going to tip you guys back down and try to bring you in nice and close. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our E6000 glue and our pacifier. And we are just going to smear it on there. Okay. And you want to make it a squared shape. So all the fabric is touching the glue. And I always put extra glue in the center. Just because usually there's a deeper hole there. And then usually some comes up off the top. So I usually grab that and put that on the tip of the Q-tip. And then I take the Q-tip. And you can see the glue there. And I just kind of do that, make it kind of even to a point. And we're going to take our cloth, and it doesn't matter which side, I'm just going to lay that on there like so. And you're going to have an open part. Yep, so you're going to have an open part. I'm going to have the flap that's open. This is where this comes in handy. And what I do is I hold the other piece with my other finger. And I take this and I just press it down. So that all that cloth is on there nice and even. And it's getting all the glue. Like that. And then you let that dry. And you'll always want to make sure that if you get any glue on the outside, that you always make sure you want to wipe that away and try to clean it off, because the last thing we want is for glue to get on to the reborns. So I have some extra that's come up, so I'm just going to clear it away. And it is okay if it gets down here, because it will dry. Just make sure it's completely dry before you put it on. And like I said, E6000 glue does dry pretty fast. You can use your fingers to get it on there as well. Just careful, because when it comes out, like, I don't like to waste the glue. I pull the extra that like happens to come off, and I just pat the edges with it. And always make sure it's kind of even in between the two, so you can't see it through the edge when you put it up to their mouth. So once that dries, our next step is going to be taking our Q-tip and the glue, and what we're going to do is right along the seams right here on both sides, we're just going to put some glue right there, and then we're going to close it up. So I think we're good to go ahead and finish this off. So I've got my glue,
Q-tip,
and I've got my Q-tip, and as you can see, I've already got glue starting to come out. Do that, then I'm going to put it back on, because I don't want that glue to get on anything else in the nursery. Alright, so we've got glue on our Q-tip, and we've got our pacifier. So we're just going to go along the edge here and work that in. You're going to want to lather it in pretty good. You want to try to get it close to the edge as possible, because you don't want it really too far into the center or down here, because if you do, it will leave less of an open spot for you to get your magnet in. So grab a little bit more glue here. You can see I got some more. And this does dry pretty quickly. And I do usually put it on both sides. And then what we do is after we've got the glue on both sides is we're just going to close it up. And you're going to want to make sure that it's halfway even on both sides. And this is where this part comes in handy. Is you just take that and press it down on there. And now I did, in this crease, in the inside, I did not put any glue because I don't want that part to be glued. Alright, so now I've got it, and I'm going to open it, and I'm going to put that in there, so it's going to dry like that. So after you're done, this is what you're going to get, minus a stick, and then when it's all done and said, you're going to have it glued. Now, I didn't put enough glue on here, so if it does that, no problem, don't worry about it. It's an easy, very, very easy fix. All you do is you come over and you grab some more of your E6000 glue, squeeze some on the top, and then cover your glue up because you don't want it to get on your nursery. Okay, you just take it and you bend back what didn't get covered, and you just put glue and you try to get it on both sides if you can. Okay. And I'm just gonna again kind of squish it down, and I like to use this because I don't like to get glue on my hands. And then you'll let that dry, and then I stick this right back in there, and I let it dry like that. So this is what you get, and then when it's completely dry, you go ahead and you take your stick out, and then you can put your pacifier in and out, and you'll turn out with a pocket passy. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed our little demonstration on how we make our pocket passies. And please stay tuned when we come up with new and different ideas to help save us money. Alright, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.